Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadavaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Shri Jiva Gopala. We'll just start in a minute or two and wait for everyone to join. Shri Gauranga Gunanuvarnana Vidho Shraddha Samhithanito Papo Taponi Krintano Tanukrita Govinda Ganamritai Anandam Buddhivardhanai Ponipuno Oivalla Nistarako Bande Rupa Sanatano Prabhujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Bande Rupa Sanatano Prabhujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Takta Purnama Shesha Mandalapati Shrening Sada Tuchava Utmadina Ganesha Korunaya. Okay, I see a few devotees have joined, so we will start our discussion, and this is available on YouTube also later. This will be available, I mean. So we'll try to keep things very, very simple. Some of you may have already read those points or heard those points, but it will give us a chance to go over again. And I thought to use this time and opportunity to go over together. And as you are hearing, of course, you can do some, basic exercise also, as I always said, like, strengthening your knee muscles, massaging your hands, the points on your hands, stretching your neck, etc., rotating the neck. So you can always do multitasking as long as you're not feeling distracted. Feel free to add in a point, or you have a comment or have a question. So we want to keep this very, very open. So you can always do some hand movements, neck movements, etc. while you're hearing. So basic stuff which you can do while sitting or okay. So without any further delay, I'll be sharing my screen. Let me know when you're able to see that. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, Okay, so we will get started. The first point is importance of health. And yes, this is something, the most important thing actually, but often it is ignored or we don't give the right weightage. Srila Prabhupada has said multiple times health is number one priority. In a recent even GBC or Governing Body Commission, it was clearly communicated that devotees should take care of their health. And when we talk about health, we talk about all the aspects. We talk about the the bodily aspect, the mental aspect, emotional health, and of course, spiritual health. And actually, these are the different koshas. This comes in Bhagavad Gita as well. The first is the external kosha. Kosha basically means covering or a sheet. So if the outside is not good, then inside, it's very difficult. Like a healthy mind stays in a healthy body. This is actually coming from Ayurveda. If one's, Here's another example. Don't preach to a hungry person. Because if one is externally not fit, then internal happiness, internal joy is very difficult. As long as one is not Paramhamsa. No, we're not talking about Paramhamsa. We're talking about normal sadhakas, at least at my level or our level, if I may do some assumptions. So I'm not, and often we may have also felt like that when our bodily health is not good, when our mental state is not good, we don't, feel happy in our spiritual life as well. We may have experienced that. If there is some argument with our close friend, relative, husband, wife, then that will keep going on in our mind and that will affect our spiritual health as well. Same is true for the body. If our body is too much in difficulty, then it's hard to keep emotional and spiritual balance. So these are the 5 koshas: the Annamaya kosh, the Pranamaya kosh, the Manomaya kosh, the Anandamaya, the Vijnanamaya, and then the Anandamaya, the topmost, the innermost. So journey within, outside to inside. So Prabhupada often also said the health, sadhana, and seva. So swasthya, which is health, sadhana, and seva. And often when we go in the flights, they say first put your own mask, then you put others' mask, even if it's your own child. Because if we are ourselves not, happy and healthy, then it's very difficult to help our dear ones, near ones, etc. So very, very important to balance this. Why we are saying this? Because when the why is strong, I always go with the why first. When the why is strong, then the how becomes easy. Because if there is no drive to improve it, or if there is no drive to work on it, then better we not talk about it. But if we all agree that yes, it is a very, very important thing to do, it is something which I have neglected, it is something which is very, very helpful to me, then I will do something about it. Or I must do something about it. Otherwise, I will lose it. So body, yes, body is temporary. Yes, body is material. But that does not mean that we ignore the body. Yes, we are not the car, but that does not mean we ignore the car. If we ignore to maintain the car, will we reach the destination? If we have to go from point A to B and the car has no right fuel or no, it heats up, the engine oil has not been changed periodically, or the filters are not right, or so many mechanics are there. Similarly, our body is also a yantra. Yantra aruni maya. Bhagavad Gita says that. So in that yantra, there are different parts. Very simple, same like a car. Yes, we are not this body, absolutely, and we are not changing the philosophy here. But what we are saying, if the body is not healthy, the journey will become difficult. The journey it will not help the journey, but it will make the journey of our life more complicated. And we are not pure devotees. If I have a lot of bodily issues, it will be very difficult me to even focus my mind on Krishna, or care for my family. If I am sick, how can I care for my husband, wife, children, elders, etc.? Because I am myself, and rather we need their care. And we don't really want to take services. We want to avoid those. So how can we do that? By prioritizing our health, our physical health, our emotional health, and our, of course, spiritual health. The spiritual health will not be talking because all of you are so advanced souls and you're doing a lot. Uh, and that's basically covered in the sadhana and seva. We are talking more about the physical aspects today. So, any comments, additions here? Any questions before we jump on? Okay. So, just to, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an Ayurveda doctor or a allopathy or homeopathy doctor, but this is something which I feel is important to all of us. This is something I feel, whatever little I have learned, I want to share with all my friends and well-wishers. So, so you can ask generic questions, but don't ask questions like, "Oh, I have this problem for the last 10 years. What should I do?" I would say better, consult the right person. So, but whatever I'll be sharing is not my stuff. It is it is from the right sources. That I can certainly say. It is all from the right sources. And Ayurveda, Ayu means age, Veda means knowledge. We have a different way. Ayurveda basically means the science to help our body, the science to keep us healthy, the science to live a healthy and happy life. Uh, and primarily it talks about body, but body is the temple for the soul. Can you imagine like a temple which is not clean, or a temple which is broken? Uh, it will be very difficult to keep the right consciousness. So multiple reasons we discussed. The goal was to help us to understand, to prioritize our health. So we'll be not be going too much in complex details, but some general tips. That's the topic, like general tips for healthy life, because small things make a big difference. I always give this example in my professional life, and this is my goal. How can we make kaizen? Kaizen basically means continuous improvement, and that's why my role, continuous improvement. Uh, you know, so continuous improvement means small things making a big difference. It is not the big things which cause a big difference. I'm not saying we have to invest $10,000 in our health or $1,000, get a big equipment and do this. It is the small things which we can do. And all the things which we'll be talking about are all natural. There is nothing we have to buy. I'm not advertising any, herbal products. I'm not advertising any gym equipment. I'm not advertising any membership, or this is all, the only my goal is to share selflessly whatever little I have learned and I'm trying to follow. It's not that I'm following 100%, but I'm trying my best to follow. So for those who joined just now, we just discussed the importance of health. So now let's talk about some basic habits. And what is, if we input right stuff and the right stuff comes out, and that means the inside system is healthy. So one of the main things which we input is water. A considerable portion of our body is made up of water. As we know, the 5 elements, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Resha. The body is made up of that. Body, yes, it is a material object. It is made up of that. So regulating that. So one thing, if you want, you can ask questions. If you want, you can write things down. If you want, this presentation is available for you to access, and I can always share that with you. This is nothing secret. I'm there to serve. taking water. Number one, we should always take lukewarm water or room temperature water, even in summers. We should never drink cold water, period. I repeat, we should never drink cold water or any cold thing actually. Lukewarm is fine, little hot is fine, is even better, and room temperature is also fine. So as soon as we get up, the first thing we should do is take good amount of water even before, you know, spitting out our saliva or rinsing our mouth. Morning saliva has lot of properties to heal our body. You may have seen, when dogs get some injury, what do? They don't go to a doctor to get band-aid and plaster. They just lick their wound, and that saliva in their body helps them to heal. That saliva in the morning especially has a lot of potency. So we must not throw it out. We must take it inside. How? Through the medium of water. So see, water also a small thing, but has so many things we need to keep in mind while drinking water. The right quantity, the right time, the right way, and those small things will make a big difference, as I always say. So in the continuous improvements, I was talking about like one change in 1940 or so. I was about a couple of decades back. One airline was going through a big loss, and they made a small change. In all their salads served in the airline, they reduced one olive in each salad served in the airlines in different flights. That led to a cost savings of $40,000. So this example is just to share that how small things in life make a big impact. It is called, in effort to impact metrics. The effort may be small. It is not, invest a new reverse osmosis plant at your home and drink that water. This is not, it's very simple stuff. Heating water is very simple stuff. Small change, but big impact. So you can, keep a bottle of hot water by your bedside and drink that. Or if you want to heat in the morning, you can do that, whatever you prefer. But in the morning, please, we must take lukewarm or hot water. 2 glasses, 3 glasses, 4 glasses. So 500 ml. I try to take at least 1 liter. So 2 big glasses. One big glass is at least 400 ml. So you can and try. It will. If you're not doing that, it will become a habit soon, and you'll feel the benefit. And don't gulp it. Very, very important point. It says in Bengali, it says jal khabu. Why do we say khabu? Khabu basically means eat. So eat water. So that means when you take water, take a sip and keep it for 1 or 2 seconds, then let it go. Not like gur, 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 and then. No, we have to sip water as if we are eating in small installments so that the saliva in the mouth can mix with it. And it has a lot of properties which will go inside our body. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to pitch in at any point. So one very other important point for water, don't drink water while standing. This leads to direct knee problems. It's not that it will happen again in one day. Oh, I have drank many times. I never felt knee problems. A logical person may say like that. Well, this is Shastra, so Ayurveda. I'm not speaking, this is not my stuff. So let me re-emphasize that again. This is not what I have come up with certain thoughts and I'm presenting with you. These are all thoughts, words of scriptures, Ayurveda, and the Yoga Sutras by different great bona fide sources. This is not some modern day science either. Modern day science says totally opposite. And if I present these to so-called modern people, they will not agree. But those who have faith in scriptures, again, I'm sharing as a well-wisher. The more we follow, the more we'll feel the benefit. And if you want to choose to ignore it, that's one's personal choice. So in the morning, we must take water. Very important. Now, after the meal, bhojan ante vishamvari. After the meal, the water becomes poison. Because the food in the belly needs fire to digest. This is called Jatra Agni. Agni means fire. So imagine a furnace where the fire is, you have put a fire and then we just put water over it. What will happen? Indigestion, problems, constipation. And so one person was just sharing that, she simply started to follow this step, drinking water in the morning and felt a lot of benefit. Again, I'll not name the person, but simple thing, great result. Simple, it is the same small things in life which cause a big impact. So after food, we should not take water, at least for 1 hour. And after 1 hour, we must take water because that helps in the assimilation and absorption of the juices and helps in the digestion process. We can take 1 hour before the meal. That helps to increase the appetite, which is good. And we can take 1 hour after, but not try not to take in the middle. If you take like one sip, it is okay. If you're like, feeling a little choking or something like that, or feeling uneasy in the throat. To start, if you're taking right now a big glass of water after the meal, that's not healthy. And cold water is not healthy at any point, what to speak of after the meal. So this is about water. So lukewarm water or normal temperature, room temperature, not drinking while standing, always sit and drink. And not drinking water immediately in the morning, lukewarm water, hot water, very good. And sipping the water. This is all connected to water. Any comments or is everything making sense? Questions? Okay, I'll move to sleep now. There's a famous quote with the sleep. If you sleep too much, it makes us lazy. If we sleep too little, it makes us crazy. So everyone's body is different. Everyone's health is different. Everyone's level is different. So don't imitate anyone. We all have our own journey. Yes, Prabhupada used to sleep 2-3 hours. Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to sleep 2-3 hours. Yes, great souls sleep 2-3 hours. But if we artificially try to imitate that, it may not be very healthy for us. If one is, again, I'm not saying you do this or not do this, but sleeping 6 to 7 hours is the general recommendation. And there are some suggested timings around 9:30, 10 or 10:30, and then morning 4-ish again. Depends on what time, depends on, every day is different. One day if we are sick, the body needs more rest to recuperate. If one day, we did more kind of outside, let's say we were in the Rath Yatra for 5 hours, then the body may need a little more time to recuperate. So everyone's body is different, everyone's routine is different, everyone's physical state is different, age is different. These things change with all those parameters. So see for yourselves, your body will tell you what's the right thing for me. Our body is their best judge, our body is our best doctor. But one thing to keep in mind, don't sleep in the sandhyas. We all know that sandhya dhyayanstu amsastya yashas 3 sandhyam. There are 3 sandhyas, the morning time. Basically, it means the transition of the day. So in the morning before sunrise, we should get up for sure. That's the first and in the afternoon around 12 or 1ish, depends on which place we are in. And in the evening also, you should not sleep. Even if one has to take extra rest because of whatever situation, one can sleep at late any other point except sandhyas or the transitions of the day. Uh, Especially try to, try, even if children have to sleep extra, that's fine. Children need more rest. But if we can somehow manage that they don't sleep in the sandhyas, that is very healthy. Uh, and that needs a good routine. So if they early to bed, early to rise, famous saying. After lunch, sleep for a while or lie down for 10-15 minutes, and after dinner, walk for a mile. This is again a modern day code, but quite aligned with the Ayurveda principles. So sleeping and proper sleeping is generally either straight or on the left side. Never sleep on the right side. And while getting up also, which we have already discussed in our yoga class, use the hand support. Don't put your back into action immediately. Use the hand support, so that with the, like I think I showed in the yoga class, but like how this guy, so just using the hand on the bed or the floor, wherever you're sleeping, use that as a pressure to lift the body rather than using the back to lift, because the body is in rest for 6-7 hours, and immediately putting back to full action mode may lead to problems. And see, again, I'm reminding or reiterating all these things. It's not that if you do it one day, oh, I like cold water. I never had issues. It's not that issues will come in one day. It's not that. So all the good things and the bad things, take time. If one does something wrong, it's not that immediately there is a reaction. Similarly, with the good things also, it's not that immediately if one does some exercise, some yoga, some pranayam for 45 minutes, it's not that immediately something changes. But if one continuously does that day after day, regularly, punctuality, consistently, then there are results. Similarly, in spiritual life, it's not that one day one chants and one becomes a pure devotee, or one day one reads Bhagavatam, one becomes a pure devotee. It's not like that. It's through consistency, day after day, week after week, month, years, decades, lifetimes. Uh, so with the health, we are not going in the lifetime approach but the results will be seen in a short time, means in a matter of months you will see, or sometimes in weeks we will see the good results. So about sleeping, then about food. If you forget everything today, just remember one thing, and of course this is there with you too, so you can access whenever you want. I can certainly share one of the golden rules of Ayurveda, which the modern science don't believe, but I will put my faith in the Ayurveda more than rather than this. Because modern science, one person says this, one says keto is good, one says no, this is good, one says, eat 10 times a day, snacks, one says eat 5 times. Modern science keeps changing. Munir, mitir bhinnam, matir bhinnam. Every muni, every so-called scientist, so-called doctor has a different opinion. But Ayurveda, the scriptures are apurushaya. They don't have different opinion. They have consistent opinion. And that opinion is don't eat if we are not hungry, period. Eat when you are hungry. And in that, if we make a routine, that's better. Like morning, and try as much as possible to add natural things to your diet. Again, we are all practicing devotees or trying to sadhaka, so I'm not going in all that, different things which, but even in devotional aspect, there are a lot of gray things. The more processed food we eat, the more we are causing problems to ourselves. The more things which are away from nature, the more problems we are inviting to ourselves. And as I said again, it will not happen in a day or two. Because buying, let's say any vegetables or fruit, we have the option to buy the raw one, any fruit, papaya, pineapple, banana, mango, or we have the option to buy the tinned one, which many people buy. It is, as per the regulative principles, it is fine because it is fruit. But just think about that tin can has so many other ingredients into it, so many preservatives, and that's good for 2-3 years. The other natural fruit will spoil in a couple of days. So the same thing, if we eat in a natural way, it will be very, very healthy. If so, the more processed things we take, the tin food, tin cans, tin anything tinned, any outside stuff, we are inviting more problems. So already there are things which we cannot control. For example, the flour. Now we cannot grind flour. I mean, I know some devotees who grind flour. And that's best actually, if one can do. But in most of our situation, it may not be possible. So already living in this world, we are quite far from the natural state. Now, same is with like cooking. Cooking on fire is best. Cooking on this what do you call that? Mitti ke bartan. Mitti is like mud utensils. How do you say? That's best. But nowadays we can say, how do I cook in the fire, in that chula? We're already very far. We're already living an artificial life, very, very far away from the nature. And there are a lot of things which we cannot control. But there are things which we can control. So at least we focus on that. But if we don't even choose to control that, then we are inviting more troubles to ourselves. So as natural as possible, eating more fruits and vegetables. And if we eat in the raw form, that's always good. Or half boiled with less spices. Sattvic, basically, Bhagavad Gita also speaks that, offer to Krishna and eat nice. So if we eat lot of fried stuff, lot of heavy sugary stuff, lot of heavy protein stuff, as per the regulative principle, that's fine, but body will become unregulated. So instead of sugar, we can choose natural things like jaggery or brown sugar, and control. Eating prasadam does not mean we put anything and everything in our belly. And chewing, very, very important point, and I'm actually guilty, Often we are not mindful while eating. When we are eating, why do we eat with hands in the Indian culture? Some of you may already know, because all the five senses are involved. The touch, the taste, the nose, the eyes. It helps in digestion. So eating with hands is okay, certainly very, very helpful. But if someone has a different culture and does not feel comfortable or feels awkward, we do respect that. Uh, so, and belly should not be completely full. Imagine a furnace which is just put with fuel and wood. There is no space for the air to go. It will be very difficult to digest. So how do we know that the question may come? First burp, sign of goodness, yogi. Second burp, sign of passion, bhogi. Third burp, overloaded, sign of rogi. And that what if we overload, then we will get lazy. And actually, you may have experienced that if we overeat, we are not like Bhima, so that we can eat and do unlimited service. It will make our body more lethargic. It will not help us. It will actually harm us. Milk is good in the night time. Very, very good. Night meal should always be very light and ideally before sunset. So, because the body also works as per the day clock. So if we can tune our clock as per the clock of the nature, it will be very healthy. So belly should not be full, and eat when you're hungry, not like 10 times a day, 5 times a day. There should be some gap. One meal which I'm personally trying to do is like either in the morning or in the afternoon. One meal you can take just fruits. So fruits could be all seasonal fruits based on your uh, any natural fruit is good. Apple, banana, um, watermelon. Again, with watermelon, we have to do a few things like don't drink water after it. So fruits are good. You can eat some soaked figs, which are easily available, soaked nuts, walnut, almonds, etc. So one meal, which again, I'm not saying you have to do this, but you can try. Try different things and you'll feel that, yes, I feel better, I feel lighter, I feel more energetic. That didn't overload my body. And yukta hara viharasya. This is completely aligned with scriptures. So not overloading will make us spiritually healthy and bodily healthy as well. So more natural stuff. We can, buy tomatoes, or we can buy tomato puree, which will last 3 years. Just think about, even from a rational, logical, point. If something is lasting 3 years, do you think it's the right thing? Do you think it's all natural stuff which will last 3 years? Will a tomato last more than a couple of days? Certainly not. Chewing food, very, very important. Bhat pibo. Bhat pibo. Jal khabo. That means we should chew the food so nicely that it becomes liquidish, and so that we can drink it. So not chewing means what? Not chewing, that means our our belly will have to do extra work to break it into smaller particles, and then that's overloading again. If you chew through the teeth, then the belly is doing less work, and it is doing the right work, which is intended for, and helping good health. Any comments, questions before we move to oral health? This is something which I started doing recently. Again, in India, most of you are from India, so you may be already aware. This Datun, Neem Datun. So my dear friends, Sudhir Prabhu helped me to get this, and this is available in US, and you can get, these days nothing is difficult to get. And this is something very cheap also. It is not like $1 million thing. You can easily get. So try to do Datun. Datun is a neem stick. So chew it, it's like a stick. You just bite it, not with your front canines, but what do you call, the premolars, molars, the back teeth. And the rasa, the essence, will go in, which is you have to do it to feel it. Now you may say, I'm too busy in the morning. So again, I, do this, and, I hope it's okay to share that as we are passing our, clearing our bowels, you don't need to even touch the dhatu. You can navigate it. In the day 1, day 2, you may even want to touch it to move it left side or right side. But after that, you will be able to navigate just with your oral, or, your lips and your tongue, etc. So without touching it, it's in the, again, I'm not suggesting you also do it, but if you feel, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time, extra time, I want something quick, then you can try this. And trust me, I feel very happy after doing this, where the mouth feels very fresh. In US, they say, well, do this cleaning and that cleaning and this scrub. Baba Ramdev says we should not use the tongue scrubbers. Rather, again, please excuse me for displaying this. You can put your 2 fingers and rub on your tongue, and you will immediately see, and then spit it off after you rub it 5-6 times. you'll see a small layer of yellowish, and that's basically tongue cleaning using our fingers. Similarly, doing a little massage of the enamel where the teeth are connected, that's very good. So use natural pace again and try to use these neem twigs. Very, very helpful. I cannot over endorse that. And you need to try it to feel it. And if you need more stuff on that, I can also share it. So very helpful. Again, I'm not saying don't go to your cleaning, but to be honest, I'm now 30 years. I've only gone to dental cleaning twice in my 30 years. And that too, I also felt it was not really required. One time in India about 10 years back, and one time in US about 1.5 years or so back, because my wife was going in and I thought, okay, let me try. But later what they are doing is they just kind of scrape off a small layer actually. That was my own experiential knowledge. They scrape off a layer of your teeth. So every time scraping off a layer, they're saying, oh, it's free. Free means it's part of your insurance, which you're paying heavy insurance, either your employer and things like that. But yeah, it may be free. It may be part of the preventive package. But if someone is giving me something free which is not good for my body, I don't want to do that. I'm not making choices for you. I'm just saying try it and decide for yourself. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's, teeth are different. Everything is different. So, but there is no harm in trying something which is very simple to do. It does not take hundreds of dollars to get these neem twigs. It is probably free or just a couple of dollars at max. So try it. Very, very important point. Exercising, yoga, pranayam, asana. We are doing that in our yoga sessions. Regularity is the key. And for those who have been doing, or for those, any type of exercise, again, the more natural, the more better. We don't want to, go, a lot of people go to gyms and, pay heavy membership and this and that. And with so much passionate environment, with so much kind of clothing they wear, it's all unhealthy for our mind. And but in a simple way, if we do some exercises, some yoga postures, some asanas, some pranayams every day, even if it's for 30 minutes, every day means, okay, if we aim for like 6 days a week, we can do 5 days. So at least 4 to 5 days a week, if we try to do, you'll see a big change. Again, body is material, but big brahmacharis, GBC is recommending, they all do this. We should not be prematurely transcendental and think, oh, no, it's not really required. Body is just temporary. Body is just, we're not the body. It does not work like that. Why will GBC say? Why will Prabhupada say health is priority? Why will Prabhupada also every day, just to get the massage and morning walk and things like that? You must do something. Regularity is important. Doing one day, oh, inspired, 4 hours, I'll do exercise, this, that. But 30 minutes, 5 times a week is better than 4 hours once a week. Regularity is the key. Consistency. Starting is easy. A lot of people take, some sign up for some yoga or some exercise, some pranayam, some gym membership in the beginning of the year. But very few are able to take it forward. Creation is easy, destruction is easy. Maintenance is the key, doing it consistently. So exercise, yoga, pranayam, based on your own health. There are simpler postures, there are basic exercises, and there are complex postures. If we continue to do simpler postures, we will get our body ready for the more complex ones. Now, if we don't do, what's the problem? I have personally, heard about this. You're carrying a big 50-pound suitcase when you're going to India, and suddenly the whole back is kind of crunched. and 3 days bed rest. You're carrying a big pot on Janmashtami, and the back is problem, the neck's problem, and many people get issues. The body is not healthy, it will affect our every aspect. So it's not that the disease won't come. It's not that by doing these things we will be free from disease or we'll be free from old age. Those things will come, but in the heart we will be satisfied that I tried my best. I didn't do anything knowingly to cause problems to myself. I tried my best. Rest is Krishna's mercy. Sometimes big, people, someone may be absolutely healthy and may die early before his due age. So that is totally Lord's plan, but we have to do our part. So exercising, yoga, pranayama, asana, and we have that yoga program which some of you are already taking advantage. So again, I'm not advertising that. My whole point is that we do something regularly. And this is the last, I believe. Make a good routine. Very, very important for any aspect of life, whether it is mental health, spiritual health, emotional health. Make a good routine. And today, Adiveda Prabhu was speaking about this, making a good routine. Lord Chaitanya had a routine. Krishna had a routine. Gopis have a routine. Everyone has. Prabhupada had a routine. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So good routine will help us. And that should include all the elements, our physical health, our sadhana, our seva, our reading of Bhagavatam, our correspondence with family, friends, devotees. So if we have a nice plan, our eating times, if we do things consistently, that really helps. For example, if you're eating every day at 1 p.m. the lunch, and let's say 7 p.m. the dinner, it really makes things different. It really helps. Sleeping at same times, getting up at same times. Of course, there will be outliers. We are not a machine that, okay, it's time to sleep and everything. There will be exceptions, but if exceptions should not be every day. So make a good routine, a timetable. It will help regulate our body, our mind, our kids, our family, and you'll feel a big difference. Avoid unnatural things. Again, this is a suggested thing. We all know that it is scientifically also proven. So avoid as far as we can microwaves and unnatural things. Refrain from processed food. We have already discussed that. Potato chips, they're good for 1 year. So does a normal potato good for 1 year? If you make potato chips at your home, will they be good for 1 year? Certainly not. So that the thing in the bag, it may seem, oh, it's just potato and salt and some oil, but it's just not very healthy. And even from spiritual life, material life, any aspect, not good. So let's limit or avoid those. We discussed this point very well, using the 5 senses to honor or feel the prasad consciously, as far as possible. And Prabhupada showed by his example, he would not do 10 things while eating prasadam. So we can either just absorb and firstly meditate upon prasad. It is not different from Krishna. Often the tongue and the belly is so tempted, we just, and the prasadam prayers also we may chant, but we don't know what we are chanting. What are we talking? What is this prasadam prayer? What is Mahaprasade Govinda Brahmani Vaishnavi? So we should meditate. What is this prasadam, and feel grateful that God, Krishna, is giving me this food which many people are deprived of. So conscious eating, you can hear some katha, some kirtan, but if it is not really required, you should not talk. There may be certain exceptions sometimes, but it should not be every day. That's a few things I just thought to share with you. If you have any other questions, simple questions, any concerns, comments, additions, we can certainly talk about it.
What pranayams should we follow daily? I know you do pranayams in yoga, but after, like throughout the day, are there some pranayams we could practice to help to be peaceful?
Yes, mother. Especially for your age, you must do more pranayams because they don't need a lot of body energy. You can start with Alom Vilom and start with the Kapalbhati. That means breathing in your chest and deep breath, deep breathing. So Alom Vilom, and I can show that maybe on Sunday. So we can. So for your age, you should avoid jerky movements. You should avoid difficult postures and do more simpler postures and do more simpler exercises.
Is the breathing through one nostril and then the other?
Yes, yes,
Kapalbhati?
block one nostril, and
We should do that like 3 or 4 times a day.
yes, and try to do it empty stomach. Empty stomach, like things you can do in the morning, then you can do in the evening. Morning before breakfast, evening before your dinner, or around this time, 6 p.m. ish. And do multiple, when you're doing, you can do for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Do some basic exercise. Anyone else? Okay, so thank you for tolerating me. I hope it was, even if it adds, if there's one takeaway and if it adds to your life, I will be blessed and feel happy that there was some meaningful contribution. If you want these documentation, I'm happy to share that with you as well. And this is nothing you can always share with your friends and family, and then that's the whole objective, to share as much as we can. So thank you. I hope it helps us in the right direction to balance our body and our health, and which will help our internal health and spiritual health.
Thank
Prabhu,
you.
could we do this
Go ahead.
every Friday?
Every Friday? Well, this is not something, I mean, the concepts will not change. So I didn't get your point. What will we do every Friday?
More tips about health and just like an ongoing course, just to educate us in proper health. I mean, it's unlimited, really, isn't it?
Yes, it is unlimited, and I am limited. So we'll see. Maybe not every week, but sometimes we can discuss that once in a while. Sure. But the point is, whatever we know, we follow it. Just accumulating knowledge will not lead to transformation. So there is a lot in this we may not be following, but we should try to follow, and we will see the difference. Because we don't want to just accumulate knowledge and not feel the difference. So maybe after a month or two, everyone comes with, okay, I followed this, which I was not doing before, and it's helped me in certain way. That is called realized knowledge. Gyan becomes Vigyan. Knowledge becomes an action, and that's great. Okay, anyone else before we end?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This was very wonderful tips. I think, some of them we know, but we're not practicing. I think this will be, if you can share, that would be also very good, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah, Shubhalas Prabhu, very, very grateful to you for taking all these wonderful initiatives to help us in so many ways, and really very inspiring. And I personally am very inspired to follow. As you said, we should do it regulation, whether it is health or spiritual life or anything. So, which makes sense, and make a routine for ourselves. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So, okay, so we will in here, if everyone is okay. And yes, I can share this with the group. And if I don't get back, please message me and bother me. Don't bother me. I never feel bothered by any messages. Please feel free to ask in case I forget to send. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you, Prabhuji.
thank you.
So
Hare
the
Krishna.
water thing was definitely very helpful for me. I'll have to try the other things that you said, the neem stick and stuff.
Yes. In India, we may have seen that. And, Sudhir Prabhu is here. He
You
gave
can
me.
even try to get a plant, neem plant, and plant it if possible.
Yes. You are in Florida. That's the best place to do
Yeah.
any kind of. So
And
please.
here we have in few devotees' houses a neem tree. Saranga
Perfect.
Prabhu's home and Ishwari Radha Mataji's home have
Perfect.
the neem
And
tree actually.
see, now I know where to
So we
go
need
and
to get
get
sticks
more.
from
Yeah.
there, Kasturi
Yes,
Mataji.
Prabhu. Huh?
We need to
Yeah,
get sticks from their house.
yeah. We'll get it some.